Hi, welcome back Ubyssey. My name is Kathy Yanley. It's February 27th, 2012, and you're watching the Ubyssey Weekly Show.
This week in the feature section on Thursday, we're going to be taking a look at Ubyssey's big new $27 million alternative energy power plant.
The swimming men's and women's team won the national championship gold medal. Great performance. Volleyball, Canada West, they lost. Unfortunate, still going to nationals. Men's basketball lost. Disappointing. Women's basketball won, going to regionals. Great job.
We have Tyler McRobbie, our food columnist, talking about olive oil, and we talked to Pia Dargani, who created a line of philanthropic handbags.
We have a story on the new bench for Travers Wimble, but it won't go in the place of his chair, so we'll tell you why. And also, TAs are going to renegotiate their contract.
So we just heard about the contract negotiations for TAs at UBC. I have here Andrew Bates, senior web writer, who wrote the story. So what's exactly happening with TAs at UBC?
Well, the current contract the TAs have with the university expired in 2010, so they've been negotiating for about a year and a half. But after a pair of meetings that's happened in the last month, they're escalating their position. One of the reasons for this is that for the last 2 years, there's been something called a net zero mandate for the government, which says that the salaries of public sector employees can't increase without decreasing their benefits. But for the next 2 years, there's going to be something called cooperative gains, where you can get an increase as long as you find that money somewhere in the UBC budget. The complicating factor in this case is that if you tie something to the UBC budgeting process, it may not be done until April or the beginning of summer, at which point the TAs feel they would have less bargaining power. So there's a pressure to get this done before the end of the school year.
Okay, so what exactly are the TAs' next moves?
Well, right now they're still in the bargaining process. They are seeking wage parity and some extra benefit measures similar to what happens at U of T. Whether or not they get that level of a salary increase is really something that comes down to the bargaining table. And they do want to do a lot of that at the table, so they're not really talking about what's going on right now. One of the complicating factors as well is that the union that represents janitors and service workers is considering a strike vote. And obviously all the unions act in solidarity with each other, so you could see some sort of a reciprocal action if they were to go on strike.
So TAs are a big part of UBC's student life, so how does that exactly impact us as students?
What happens if there is a strike isn't quite known right now. The university is preparing some sort of a contingency plan, but we're not exactly sure what that is. One of the things to consider is that if they want to do it, it's unlikely that it's going to happen after exams. The strike, if it actually did occur, would probably occur at some point before the end of the school year, and would run into exams if the whole bargaining isn't resolved by then.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Sports! Trophy was out on Saturday night as the Ubyssey Thunderbirds and Alberta Pandas faced off in the Women's Volleyball Canada West Final. Both teams had already clinched a spot at the National Championships next weekend in Hamilton, but you wouldn't know it by the competition. After losing the first set, the Pandas rallied, with Elisa Jones getting a key ace to help Alberta win the second set 25-21. In the third, up 24-22, Lisa Stang gets the block to give Alberta a 2-1 set lead. But the T-Birds would rally, and a key ace by Shanice Marcel gave the T-Birds a decisive lead in the fourth set, tying it up at 2. The fifth and deciding set goes to just 15 points, and at 11-all, Caitlin Buckle gets the easy putback to put Alberta up for good. Facing match point, UBC had a chance to tie the fifth set up, but they were unable to stop the kill by Elena Omochenko. Alberta wins the Canada West Final in 5 sets, 18-25, 25-21, 25-22, 20-25, and 15-13, but UBC head coach Doug Reimer was happy with the way his team played as they look to win a 5th straight CIS championship next weekend.
I think it was a great match, and you don't always come out on the top end of it, and we'll have to, be able to make a few adjustments for next week.
And that's all for today. My name is Kathy Yanley. putting glitter in your life since 1918.